All right, great day, everyone. We are here today, director with one-star director Sapphire Ringware, Tara Wilson, and myself, three-star director Sapphire Ringware, Keda Mason. So we're going to talk about talking in closing today, and definitely want interaction in the chat. We are actually recording this, so you guys can go back to do the live stream, and you guys can basically catch what we're doing today. We're going to have a conversation today about being a talker versus a closer. Director Tara Wilson, do you think you are a talker or a closer?
I used to be a talker, but now I am a closer.
You are a closer. Okay, I used to be a talker, but now I'm a closer as well. So today we're going to get right into it. So let's start it out, Director Wilson.
All right. So do you all know the difference between a talker and a closer? Put it in the chat. So a talker is someone that actually gives information and hope of interest. Closers guide the conversation, they handle the objections, and they get the results. So, those talkers are talking way too much and not listening, right? So here's some examples of being a talker. Someone that loves to share the information, but don't move the people to action. They spend too much time explaining and hesitating to ask for that commitment. They get so excited and then they just struggle to follow up. Focuses on planting the seeds, but they rarely reap the harvest. Gets into the trap of talking too much and overloading prospects with information. So it's basically like y'all, the talkers are throwing up on people, just talking way too much.
Absolutely. So let me talk to them about a closer because I'm a closer now. Give me the money, right? Give me the money. Give me the card, right? So as a closer, we move the conversation to a decision. That is the most important thing. We also handle objections. We don't look at the objections as rejections, but we handle them head on. It's like the confidence is through the roof. You're not gonna tell me about planning marketing. You're not gonna tell me about Mr. Bradley, right? You're not gonna tell me about the compensation plan because I believe in it and I know what it is. So the confidence with the delivery will be on point, right? Even for the person who is not that experienced, right? Because they believe in it, the confidence is through the roof. It's just like when you are dating someone or when you are, starting a new job or when you have a group of friends that you hang out with. Somebody in that crowd, confidence stand out more than somebody else. That person who confidence stands out, they don't avoid the questions head on. They don't get upset. They don't get folded with it. They like, come on, what's the next one? What's the next one? What's the next one? Again, that's all you got for me? That's what that confidence look like as a closer. They understand the timing. It's like, yes, no, ma'am, maybe so. What you got to tell me? I got to go. I got to go to another call. That timing is like 1, 2, 3. A closer should not be on the phone 35 minutes trying to get their credit card. A closer should not be on their phone 2 hours and 36 minutes trying to convince them of this plan or what we talking about, right? And we're talking about a talker and a closer. That means what it means is we talking about a person who could be that directly closing their own call or the three-way validation person. So let me just sum that up. That talking closer conversation that we having now, it could go for you independently closing your own call or the three-way person that you're leveraging. So this is a twofold situation. We understand that, when people start talking so much, we handle the conversation, put it that way. You know how we take control of the conversation, we lead it, and also we follow up with purpose because the urgency is there. No matter what you think, it's like, listen, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, what we got? Yes, no, you hesitating. Come on, give me the card, give me the money, right? If you don't want to give me the money, I gotta go. I gotta call Miss Jane, right? Is the urgency with it. But also in the follow-up, we're gonna keep asking you questions and making it personalized to you because using a generalized a statement as a closer doesn't help close everybody. So it always got to be a personalized value when you're trying to close that prospect based on what they told you, what you know about them, and the reason why they want to get started. Because we ask direct questions. We don't do no probing for real unless it's absolutely necessary. Why is that? It's because once we have already built rapport with them through conversation, once we ask them several questions about what you like best about what you saw, all those questions should be answered then. So as a closer getting a person on a three-way, that person should not have to do that much probing at all. We should be asking close-ended questions to get to the money, because the person who transitioned the call should have gave us the background, should have asked those probing questions. So a closer is that one that come in and shoot up, like shoot the club up and clear the table, right? That's what we do. For sure. Go ahead and talk about that talker, Miss Cara.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that talker. So here's an example, right? So you're talking to someone, you say, "Hey, I found this amazing opportunity where you can make some extra money from home. You get to travel and earn commissions. It's really cool. And people are making six figures. You should check it out. Let me know if you're interested," right? Bong. Wrong here, right? There's no engagement. You talking too much. You throwing up on them, right? You're not even asking them any probing questions and listening, right? So that way you can actually ask be able to address that prospect's needs. So no clear action, no CTA was given to the prospect, right? The prospect is left to decide on their own, which means they probably won't do it. So basically you left it open-ended, right? You didn't get the buy-in, you didn't address any of the concerns, you didn't give no value in regards to, you just talked about the business, but you never said anything in regards to how this opportunity could work for what they're looking for. Back to you, Keda.
Absolutely. And just talk about this. This is a generalized copy and paste message that someone would send to someone. So imagine you sent that to me 15 years ago. 10 years ago. I probably would have been like intrigued by the six figures because I wasn't making it, right? But also I probably wouldn't have been intrigued by just earning travel commissions, right? I wouldn't, that wouldn't be what I want, because I'm thinking about a job, right? So a lot of things is happening right here in this message. The next thing I want y'all to know is the fact that don't talk about something you ain't making, right? Let's talk about that. Because they already say if people are making six figures, people could be you. Some messages that we see is like you can make six figures from home. And that's when you get that choked up question, well, how much money you made? Right. So I try not to say that six figures. I just try to say something about matching your income, bringing in additional screens, right? So that's just pointing out the little cues. And listen, I know y'all, a lot of you guys say some of this, so we're not trying to say not to say it. We're just saying it is the time and the place to say it. And when you're peaking, right, building rapport, that ain't the case, right? So I'm gonna talk about that closer. Hey Tara, I know you're busy, but I wanted to follow up. What did you like best about the video? Are you ready to get started today, or do you have any questions first? Right? I'm going straight at her. Like, listen, what you like best about what you saw, Miss T? And listen, are you ready to get started today? Because I'm ready for you to get started. I'm asking for the money. Give me the money, right? Remember the closer. You put on your page, closer equal, give me the money. Because that's what we're doing here. So what I did was I got in a conversation because I needed a specific question answered. Lady, pick one. Whatever one you answer, I got a comment response to you. I already know what I'm gonna say, right? And it assumes the interest instead of asking if they're interested, right? You already told me you were interested, so I'm not gonna respond to you and say, if you're still interested, let me know. I said, are you ready to get started? Do you have any questions? Which one is it? Right? It's again, this goes back to not what you say, it's how you say it, right? And you give them two choices: start now or ask a question. You pick a side. Lady, which one is it? You want the link? Or you got more questions, then I'm gonna get on the phone, right? So I'm leading them more towards a decision as a closer. So
You know
the
what? That's key, right? Because a lot of us or a lot of people or business partners, they end it with the "let me know." You automatically gonna get ghosted off of that one because they're gonna be like, nope, I don't want nothing to do with it, right? So how do
yeah,
you shift from a talker to a closer, right? You want to listen and talk less, allowing your prospect to share their needs before you pitch. So you got to understand what they're saying and what they need so you know how to actually pivot over to addressing any of those concerns that they may have or what they're looking for. So you're going to ask the closing questions. What would stop you from getting your business started today? You want to create a sense of urgency. Let them know why it's best to take the time to start today, right? Take that action. And then you definitely want to follow up with confidence. Do not leave the prospect hanging guide them to making a decision. And with that urgency, everybody sees how the company is moving, right? Just last year alone, we were at like what 80, not 80, like 97,000. We're at 130,000 now. Talk about the value, the momentum in terms of what's taking place with the company. And truly, 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 don't throw up on them, don't spit up on them. Make sure that you're listening, and then you come back and have that conversation to close them out.
Absolutely. And so what we're saying is what here, just like what Director Tara just said, listen, if you give them an option to choose yes or no, they're gonna give you a yes or no. But if you just give them an option to opt out to no, I'm gonna tell you no, right? I'm gonna tell you no. I'm not even gonna front. You tell me, let me know if you're interested. Yeah, I'll get back to her tomorrow, or I'll get back to her in 2036. She'll be all right, right? She just said she's gonna be around, right? So think about that, right? So listen, let's talk about some closing CTAs, call to actions for prospects. And I love this, Director Tyra, because one is the assumptive close. Now, guys, these are different phases. And so, guys, just pay attention. I know y'all screenshotting and not writing. It's okay. Y'all screenshotting, but listen, I will tell you, you can screenshot, but also write number one, is something close. Write down, write down your little notes beside it. So sounds like you're excited about this, Tyra. Do you want to get started as a business partner or a customer? Why this works? This removes a yes or no option and assumes they're joining. It's just a matter of how,
Mhm.
right? And so we can take out or a customer, right? Or I could say or a merchant, right? Because some people come in, they don't want to build a team, right? So I'm gonna just tell them I'm still positioning you to earn residual income because the base is $200, right? It's $200, right? We know that, but we can switch that word and say, oh, you want to become a merchant, right? You still get the business, $200, but if you want to focus on travel, you become a merchant. You're not a customer, right? So just think about that. So that's why I said right, haha, threw that in there because I knew somebody was going to ask. So that's why I asked you to write, right? So, Tara, talk about number two. What stood out?
What stood out? Close. All right. So check this out. What did you like best about what you saw? Why it works? This makes them reflect on the benefits rather than the objections. After they answer, follow it with awesome. Are you ready to get started today? Right? Because if you ask them that the question of, what did they like best, you're going to hear what they're saying. They're going to say, oh, I like the extra income. Oh, yes, the residual income, whatever that component is that they like within the opportunity, right? And then from there, that's how you're going to get them closed. Are you ready to start today? Let's get started today. It only takes about 10 minutes to get started. I'm going to send you my link and I'm going to walk you through the process. Boom, closed. Done.
Absolutely. But most of us is the take action clothes. I like this stuff. Why? It looks like this could be a great for you, get fit for you. Let's get you set up today so you can stop earning. Does that sound good? I asked for the money. Give me the money. What I say today? Give me the money. Listen, now, you ain't gonna tell me no, right? Only time you gonna tell me no if you ain't got the money, right? But listen, it looks like this will be a great fit for you. Because guess what? There's something the stood out clothes. We asked you everything about what you like best. We answered all of your objections and we went right straight to the take action. So why does this work? This create urgency while making it sound natural. Natural. You're not sounding like a script or a robot. You don't sound like your director or your sponsor or somebody else told you to say it. It just rolled off your tongue, right? So talk about the investment.
Yes. So the investment or prospective response. I totally get it. But let me ask you, if someone offered you $1,000 a month side income for a $200 investment, would you find a way to come up with the money? So this is for those individuals that say, oh, I don't have the $200 or whatever, right? But why it works, it reframes their thinking to see that it's an investment and not an expense. And so a lot of times individuals or our prospects thinks that it's an expense, but they don't understand that they're investing in themselves. They're creating a home-based business that's going to provide them with so many different opportunities. So when you say, if someone offered you $1,000 a month, they're gonna think like, because this opportunity, we can show them how to actually do that. So then their thought process is gonna switch that this is actually gonna benefit me. It's an investment. I'm investing in myself versus it being an expense. So Kita, talk about that urgency close.
Oh, you always give me the good ones. I love it. I love it. The urgency clause. I get it. But let me ask, if I could help you make your $200 back within the next 30 days, would you be willing to find a way to start? Would you be willing to find a way to start? Why it works. It assures them that they can earn the investment back quickly, that $200 won't hurt their household. You have their best interests at heart. Listen, you ready to help them get to the money, and you're not gonna play in their face. You're not treating them like a number. You helping them get it back so nothing is missing. That's why the urgency codes is on point, right? Y'all liking this so far? Let's take up. Oh, we ain't done yet. Wait a minute. Tara, tell them we not done yet.
Yeah, but check this out. So those objections, we always run into a few, right? Or many.
This the
I
main
don't
one
have
though. This the main one though,
the
right? This
right.
the main one that we deal with. I don't got the $200 to start. So we chose this one respectfully. Let's give us some background. We chose this one respectfully because this is the biggest one that you get, right? So go ahead, Director Tara.
Yeah, I don't have the $200 to get started. Woe is me, right? But the mindset shift response, I totally understand. I used to think the same way until I realized that not having the money was exactly why I needed to start in the first place, right? If nothing changes, where will you be financially in the next 6 months? Let's figure this out and let's figure out how we're going to make this happen for you, right? Why it works. It helps them see that their current situation is not going to change unless they take action, right? So they could continue to be broke, not have no money, but we're showing them a way that they can find $200 if they want to go out to eat. If their buddy's gonna say, let's go here, or let's go to the movies, or I'm hungry, or go to Starbucks or whatever, they gonna find that $200, right? And guess what? They're gonna spend it on not something that's not gonna get a return on the investment, make no money. They just spending money. They actually creating expenses for themselves versus making some money, right? So go figure.
Absolutely. It is funny because we look at this response, and this goes back to the sympathy and empathy that we always tell you with the response back to the prospect. Whatever they tell you, you have to have sympathy. This is how you grab them. This is how you close them. This is how they believe in you. They believe that you would definitely help them because already they in a point where they're like, oh my goodness, yeah, I spent $200. I spent last time myself and my kids went to the movies, I know my bill was like 340. Like I don't even know how the movies get that expensive. It was almost 400 bucks. Okay. So let me just tell you, yes, $200 was a piece of the movie, but guess what? You watch the movie one time, you gotta wait for it to come on Netflix. You start this business one time, and we can actually get you investment back in that first 30 days, right? So think about that. So this is a great response because one, you show sympathy and empathy, and also show them that listen, I got your best interest at heart. But listen, that $200 question, baby. Let's see what the other little baby talking about. The budget allocation response. I get it, but let's break it down. $200 is about $6.67 a day for a month. That's probably less than what most people spend on coffee or takeout. What small things can you cut for a couple of weeks to fund your business? You remember we always tell you, help them try to do a plan, help them come up with a plan. Can you save $50 a week? Right? Let's put $50 a week to the side to the pot, right? Every 2 weeks, let's put $100 to the side or something. We're helping them decide and figure it out. Why this works, it makes the investment feel more manageable by comparing it to daily expenses, right? Daily expenses. Everybody, we spend money every day, right? Let's be real. If I leave this house, my wallet choose balance with me. And I don't know why. And I am the one who swiped. I don't know why, right? I don't know why, right? If I have cash, it goes fast, right? And you know, ever had cash and you say, well, where did that money go? How did I spend that? Where did that go? Just know we all spend money every day, and $6.67 per day really is not a lot of money at all. So let's talk about this right here. That $200, baby, they had us in a chokehold. Go ahead and talk about that number three.
So guess what? We're going to help you find a way, right? The find a way response. I hear you. If money wasn't an issue, would this be something that you're interested in, right? Because sometimes when they don't have the money, they're going to make that as the excuse not to get started. So we're going to flip it. If money wasn't an issue, would this be something that you would want to do? If they say yes, right? Then what you're going to do is let's come up with a plan to get your startup costs together. Do you have anything you can sell or would be picking up an extra shift? You know, some people like to do that overtime, right? Be an option. I would love to help you make this happen. Why it works. It removes the money excuses and focus on the solution. So again, here we're giving them solutions. We're breaking it down to let them know that it's possible. And not only that, it's strengthening your relationship with that prospect because you're really truly showing them that you're here to help them get out of that rut that they're in, per se.
Absolutely. And so that $200, baby, that thing's still the rising, right? Let's talk about the investment perspective response. I totally get it. But let me ask you, if someone offered you $1,000 a month side income for a $200 investment, would you find a way to come up with it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why it works. It refrains their thinking to see it as an investment, not an expense. Would you come up with it? If I could show you how to flip that thing 2 times over, how fast would you come? How fast would you give me the money? Right? You will hurry up and give it to me, right? So listen, it just helps them see the value in it, like, oh, well, I can get an extra $1,000 a month. I only spend 200 and I can get up to $1,000 a month minimum.
Mhm.
That's an $800, what's that called? Profit, right? That's $800 profit. So that's all they gonna think about. They only gonna see the $800. They not gonna see the two or the thousand. They just gonna see the $800 to the positive. That's just like FanDuel. They see the positive things in when they betting on the apps, right? They only looking for the positive signs because they hate seeing the negatives, right? For sure. Go ahead, Zara.
So the urgency close, right? The urgency close. I get it. But let me ask you, if I could help you make a $200 back, your $200 investment back in the next 30 days, would you be willing to find a way to start? Think about that. So if they really want to do it, right? So we're going to switch it over to that urgency. So if we could help them find that $200 within the next 30 days, so let's break this down. If they help 4 people start their business, how much is that they're getting back? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Why does it work? It reassures them that they can earn their investment back quickly, quickly, and then gonna make even more than a $200 investment, right? So you really want to talk to them. I mean, explain to them the urgency of it, especially everything that's happening within the company and in the industry and everything that's happening around the world. Let's go ahead and flip that $200 and make some real money. That's gonna then become residual for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So listen, we're gonna do some pro tips for closing with confidence, and I love this. So please pay attention. Reason why I asked you guys to write. Keep it short. Don't over explain. Some of you guys talk too much already in your real life, and you do that bad habit over here in your business life, right? Just don't over explain. What you do is the P, the S, the three. You peek them, you show the plan, you move out the way. That's your job. Repeat after me. You peek them, you show the plan, and move out the way. That's your job, right? Nothing else to that. You can talk all you want to. You can talk their head off when they get in the business. That's your job to tell them how to get through the business. That's your job, right? But guess what? It's not my job to lead you through the business if you don't want to be led, though. But with this particular instance, over explaining can cause that, can cause a new business partner to stop moving, cause a business partner to feel like it's overwhelming, cause a business partner to feel like, listen, cause them to feel like this is just too much. I don't have the time for this because you over explaining when they get into business too. Have a structure where they can actually just sit down And it's step by step, 1, 2, 3. And we all are moving with the same beat of the drum with this compensation plan and with this training that Mr. Bradley gives us in Master for Leaders in this industry. We will all be on the same accord. We moving with the same wave. That means ain't nobody drowning. Right? So you ask the right questions that lead to a decision. That's what closers do. Listen, I need a yes. I need the short answers. I need to ask the questions where you're gonna go ahead and give me the things what I need to close you out. Because you tell me how to close you. You tell me how to close you. And most people miss that. Just like when you are prospecting people, the way you prospect people, they tell you how to coach them. And they tell you how they're gonna be coachable. If they ghost you a lot, most of those people, when they get ready to start, a lot of them ghost you in business too. So they tell you how they're gonna move by when you are prospecting them and while they're in business. But be okay with silence. Let them answer. If you that one, I told you guys when I do three ways a lot of the times, and this I've been doing this for years. I grab me a piece of paper. As they're talking, I'm writing down keywords because I don't want to miss it. How many? But a lot of me, my mind, I got so many things up here in this cap up here of mine that I may not even remember what the first thing that you said. So I grab the pen while you talking. Okay, she said she needs some more money. Does she hate her job? She got 3 kids, right? I'm writing down keywords so I can bring back my conversation to them. And that also helped them understand that I'm listening. I'm listening, sir. I just don't want your credit card. I'm listening, ma'am. Just don't want your credit card. I'm personalizing my responses back to the key points that I wrote down because in my mind, the key points I wrote down are your pain points. My keywords that I wrote down is your triggers. How many of y'all on this line got triggers? A lot of y'all got triggers, right? A lot of us need to be sitting on somebody's couch, right? So with that being said, I'm pulling on your trigger because I need you to pull that trigger on that credit card though. You need to mirror match your prospect. This is a huge one, and I'm gonna bring it back to you, Director Tyra, in a second. But mirror match your prospects. Why are we putting a single mom with a single dad? That's not it. All right? A single dad journey is a different walk of life. Trust and believe me. I'm not downplaying you, but that's a different way of life, right? Single mama way of life is a different one, right? Listen, I'm not gonna put a government employee, right, on with a cashier that work at 7-Eleven. I'm not gonna put right. I'm not gonna put a military man on the line with the person who work in logistics, unless they work in logistics now and they had a military background. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna pair up the person who worked in the stock market with somebody now that works in healthcare. That doesn't jive, guys. You want your prospect to mirror the person who was doing your three-way call because they can talk their language, right? I can talk listen, I can tell a single mom about anything, baby. I can go deep, baby. You ain't gonna tell me nothing. You talking about you struggle, but your struggle is deep as the food bank, but your struggle is deep as this, right? Because I'm gonna tell it. Like I'm not ashamed of nothing, right? Like y'all can talk about me, screenshot me in the group chat. I don't care. I'm not ashamed of nothing because that was my story. But guess what? How many other people, the prospects, have that story too? Right? So I'm gonna mirror match my prospects with the person who's closing and talk about that, Director Tyra.
Yeah, see that mirror match, it really, really helps. And that was one of the things that I missed in the very beginning with being ignorance on fire. So like Keda was saying, for an example, I would have an entrepreneur that was making great money, right? And putting them on the phone with someone that doesn't know anything about entrepreneurial spirits, how it works, that corporate person, right? So that lingo was different in terms of being time broke, right? The financial broke. And then say for instance, if you have someone like having a Gen Z, this is a great one here. Another ignorance on fire, right? I used to put a Gen Z with an old person that could not talk that lingo to that Gen Z to help them understand how powerful this opportunity can be for them. So you have to really mirror match, customize it to your prospects just because that person is available. And by you listening and taking down those keynotes in terms of what that prospect is saying, you'll know exactly who's on your roster, what leaders in your organization that you can actually match them up to. Say, for instance, if it's an educator, right? We have Angelica. She used to be an educator, so understand she'll be able to talk that lingo for when they, the summer breaks, the spring breaks, how they sick of the kids, and X. So that conversation will go that way. So it's very, very important. And when you match it and customize it, mirror match it and customize it, you're guaranteed to get a close at a high percentage of close rate because they're talking that same lingo. So you want to
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. Go ahead.
Okay, so the next one is acknowledge their concerns, but don't agree with their excuses, right? Because you have some people that want you to be the woe is me and y'all be on the couch together. No, don't get sucked into what their excuses are. What you need to do is actually use some of the tips that you've gotten over all of the trainings that Keda and the leadership team has done. You want to be able to come with that objection to that excuse. So you really need to dig deep and listen, not be that talker. Listen to address that excuse with a powerful objection and close it out. And then you want to shift their mindset from scarcity to an opportunity. And a lot of people when they don't know what they don't know, they're more comfortable in staying in that zone of being uncomfortable because they don't know how to get out of the uncomfortable zone to the comfort zone, if that makes any sense. So you want to help find a way instead of letting them just walk away. And Keda, go ahead and address that one because I know you got some good examples on that one.
Oh, absolutely. It's like let's find a reason for them to stay. That goes back to the personalization of the conversation. As you have that prospect on that line, you are definitely holding it down for them. Like you holding it down, showing them the evidence, letting them know that it can be done. Make sure the conversation is not about you. When you take you out of it and you focus more on the value it can bring them, they're not going to walk away. They may not join that day. And let me just sum this all up, y'all. Please. This all is the training for you to let you know how to control the conversation, how to guide you, but just to let you know, it doesn't guarantee you they will join you that day. It may be that we doing all this and they may be joining you 3 months later. It's okay. You went through the pain. You did everything that you were supposed to do. They're just not ready yet. It's okay. I would rather you join me when you are ready than the person to join me when I'm forcing you to join today because I'm trying to get my numbers, or I want you today, and you get in and do nothing. And then you be that one on credit hold every month that I gotta remind, flip your account, do this, and I gotta be down and chasing you down. I don't want to be that person, right? So letting them start when they are comfortable to start is very important, but we're still letting them find a way. We don't want them to walk away. We don't want to get ghosted, right? We don't want to get ghosted, and that's the key. We stopping. Our goal is not to get ghosted, but also deliver the message, show them the value. Listen, many people be in the right place and sometimes they just don't get it right then, right? Some people don't internalize things as fast as you. Some people need to let it sit down and marinate for a while. Some people, you ever heard the time is let me pray on it? Yeah, some people need to pray on it, right? We got to give them that respect. I've had that so many times when we first got started. I was like, oh, God is in this business. Good. I love it. I'm sticking and staying, right? So just the better the more that you cover their needs, the more that you reject their excuses, the more that you personalize it to them, the more people gonna join you and stick and stay, right? Stick and stay, stick and stay.
And
So go
Keda,
ahead.
that's key. That's key, right? And so we're talking about being a talker and a closer. So even with a closer, you got to be mindful of listening, to execute, to handle the objections, right? But when closing, just because you saw the screens and you took those pictures, right? That does you do not be a robot and read off of these slides that you got today with that particular prospect because you want to customize it where it sounds authentic and genuine. It was something else you said and it just left me. But yeah, any questions? And if it comes
You see how you wasn't writing down the keywords. You see
yep,
that I'm
that's
giving
a
you.
good example.
That's a good example. She had some thoughts. This was like a three-way. She had some thoughts. I said some things that triggered her some thoughts, but she only remembered the last thing, right? She only remembered the last thing. If she would have been writing down keywords while I was talking, she wouldn't have missed it, right? That's a good example. But no, did you think about it during the time?
No, but it's divine order because it needed to happen that way to show the example of how it does work. If you're not writing down those keywords, you can get screwed up at the end. For
You
sure.
can get screwed up in the end. Absolutely. So that concludes our training on talker versus closer. Let me stop the recording.